Hey, Dad.
Hello, son.
Hi. I happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you.
And
What is that you have there?
It's a present that I made for you.
Oh, look at that. What is it?
I made it myself, and
Uh-huh.
it is a full episode of the Daily Solutions podcast.
Oh, that's my favorite podcast.
Yeah, and I made an intro all by
Yes.
myself.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
And then I asked myself a float tank question, and then I answered my own float tank question.
Oh, it's very nice. You did a wonderful job.
You're a wonderful father,
I love you, son.
and I love the Daily Solutions podcast.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hey there.
Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to you, too.
Yeah, happy Flag Day. So, my name's Graham.
And my name's Ashkahn.
And boy, do we have a question for you,
Yeah.
for us. So you have a question for us.
What is it?
I don't know why I say that wrong like every time. The question is, thank you for asking, how many times do you blast out to your mailing list for a single special that you run? Let's say, for example, Father's Day.
Very prescient.
Yeah, what a perfect question.
Great.
So this it says mailing lists. Yeah, they're basically saying, like, do we send out one email a few days before Father's Day, or do we send out like 10 emails in the 2 weeks leading up to?
Assuming we have some sort of deal, right?
Father's
like
Day.
we have some sort of like discount or something.
Yeah, it says for like a single special, so I assume like a
Otherwise, you're not just like
discount
emailing people
special.
10 times to remind them that Father's Day is coming up. Like,
Hey, is it on your calendar yet? Actually, it comes on most calendars, but
I guess I'm always a fan of not contacting people as much as I think maybe other businesses do sometimes. I just think you need to, like we've said this before when we talk about newsletters and content in general, like you need to be providing some sort of value to people. So if you're just sending like a bunch of emails, then the only content of the email is like, hey, reminder, like we have this Father's Day deal going on. Like you're probably getting into the range of being kind of annoying. And I don't know, I guess like abusing the fact that people have their emails. Like people don't put their emails in your mailing list because they want to hear 10 times about a deal that you have going on. Like they want to learn more about floating and hear about you. And like they also want to know when specials come up. But, I feel like it needs to be a part of a greater balance.
yeah, I guess I feel like for one-off specials, it also partly depends on how long it's running, I guess, too, right? Like a Father's Day special that's running for the entire month leading up to Father's Day, as opposed to just like you can buy some cheap floats on Father's Day. They're kind of like two different things,
Right.
So, for a single day one, just because that's a little easier, I almost feel like I'd say like 1 or 2 emails is good. Like I could see
Yeah.
doing an email about a week to 10 days beforehand, letting people know that there's this deal coming up, and then another email the day beforehand or the day of saying, hey, this deal is going, take action.
Yeah, for us, even for a longer, like we do like almost a pretty much a month-long December discount, and we send how many? 2 emails?
No,
about
three
that?
or 4.
4 emails to our newsletter?
3 or 4, actually, is what I said.
We've sent 4 before.
So
I
the
can't
times
remember
we
a
do
year
it,
we've ever sent 4 emails.
We'd send it like leading up to December.
So we'll send one out to like kick it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or like leading up to kicking it off, potentially.
Like pre-Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. Pre-Thanksgiving email, then like December 1st email, then an email 2 or 3 days before Christmas,
Right.
and then an email the day before it ends.
Because we usually go all the way through December.
Yeah, so when we do our special in December, we do like from December 1st to December 31st, essentially. So the entire month of December. So then on December 30th and 31st, we'll send it off. But I think this last year, for example, we did 3. It was like kick it off at the beginning of December with an email, do an email about 2 days before Christmas, and then do another email on the 31st, right before it runs out, I think is what we did this last
I
year.
think it's more typical. I think we've even done like 2 before. Like we tend to be on the lower side of it.
Yeah, for sure. And you really do, like, you'll have professional marketers out there who really know their stuff who will encourage you to send out like an email every single day leading up to a sale. And the thought process there is, and I guess this is just something where it depends on what kind of mailing list you're cultivating, how you're actually getting those names and putting them on there. But the thought is, a lot of email these days go into a promotions folder or just go into some place where people aren't looking through them every single time they come. So, and you're really quick to archive something, right? If you glance down, you see that there's a sale or whatever, and you don't care, like whatever. It's one little click and it's gone. So, but you might catch people, maybe for the first 5 days of the sale, they weren't that interested, or they just archived without even seeing the contents of their entire promotions folder. And then on that 6th day or 7th day, they actually did look at it. And so from that perspective, that's like kind of the philosophy behind shooting out just a ridiculous amount of emails is it's not a huge cost if they don't pay attention. And one of those 10, you might catch more people than you did with the others. So I don't know. I mean, that's not the personal email philosophy that Float On kind of subscribes to.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes from my personal, that's a very fast way to get me to unsubscribe from a mailing list if I were to be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, but when was the last time you bought a float? So are you really the prime candidate,
Yeah, I mean, but we also, when we send multiple emails, it's not always, the emails contain more than just that, too, we'll send maybe 1 or 2 of those emails are pretty much just about the deal, and a couple more are about something else, and then we also have a reminder that this deal is going on in there.
Yeah, well, our December one is kind of when we do a big yearly update, so we'll just talk about cool things that have happened with floating and Float On over the last year, and kind of share some news stories and cool things like that, and just have a little more value that we add than just saying you can get cheaper floats during this entire month or something like that. So I don't know. It really this is one of those questions where it gets down to, again, marketing philosophy a little bit and also marketing strategy. I definitely know people who swear up and down, and again, are very successful professional marketers by doing giant amounts of emails going into every promotional blast that you do. And then I know ones that are much more in that more reserved camp of, no, email people when you have something important to say, and because you're not speaking loudly so much of the rest of the time, then they pay attention to when you do have something of value to contribute. And I don't know, I guess that's just where we've always cited. I'd kind of rather risk making less money, but have our customers respect us a little bit more for not abusing their inbox and stuff like that. We kind of just take this high road with a lot of Float On decisions, Yeah,
I think we just have to it's just more important for us to cultivate a mailing list more than other, if we were a web business and we were getting tons of people signing up for our mailing list every single day, and our kind of people that could buy our product are global. There's a little bit more just churn, I think, you can expect to go through. Where you're okay, we'll just keep blasting people and we'll lose a bunch of people, but that's all right. If we can convert whatever, 0.5%, 0.25%, or whatever it is, then that's a bunch of money. But it feels a little bit more like a community or something with a Float Center's mailing list. These are the people in your neighborhood and the people who actually come and actively float with you. And, it's something that I feel it's nicer to have a slightly better respect for, and to be trying to think about people being on your mailing list for more of the long term.
Yeah, so if you just buy up someone else's mailing list that you haven't cultivated, blast out to it. Just try to grab as many as you can. Grab the iron while it's hot. I guess another strategy for a single day sale too is doing the lead up, and this is something else again that Float On doesn't do because we really don't like kind of abusing that mailing list setup. But some places will do 2 weeks beforehand saying, hey, this deal is coming up. Look in your inbox for it in 2 weeks, and then a week beforehand, same thing. Kind of building excitement is the idea. And maybe add on things, a week beforehand, you added on more things to be excited about than the 2 weeks beforehand. And then you do that at the 3-day mark, and then you do that 1 day beforehand, and then you launch an email day of. So it's almost this more and more frequent just reminder that a single day sale is coming up, and then launch it on that day. And that's also another one of those that, like I said at the beginning, Float On doesn't personally subscribe to, but is vetted out and well used by a lot of other email marketers out there.
I guess it has to do with what you're doing this for too. I imagine around holidays, people are just getting so many emails from so many companies that sending a couple extra helps you stay above the noise a little bit.
Yeah, and then the other ones start sending extra.
Noise. It's a horrible cycle, but
but that's the holidays for you anyway.
Uh-huh.
I think that about covers it. There's no right or wrong answer to.
You can test it. I mean, you can just look at the traction and see how many sales you get. If you have some sort of special discount code, make a different one for these emails than the ones that you're doing in your shop or whatever. But just try to track how many people are actually clicking through and purchasing it. And that's the nice thing about kind of internet marketing is you can get really good analytics and information.
Yeah, and this one it does get philosophical because if you have just a ton of unsubscribes, but you sold more floats, is that a success?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on the numbers. Like, are you, like, if you're in a downward spiral, like if every year your mailing list is getting smaller and smaller because so many people are unsubscribing and you can never make that number back, that's probably bad. But if you get like twice as many unsubscribes as you would have otherwise, but that's still not a huge like ding and your market mailing list is getting bigger every year, like that seems from a monetary point of view justifiable.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like those people who unsubscribed might also be people who, if you hadn't abused them and sent out that many letters, would have bought something from an email in the future and now never will.
So but I mean, that's just exactly the balance of this question, right? I mean, it's pretty much like sales versus unsubscribes is what you're trying to optimize for.
Yeah. So pay attention. Do some tests. The other part of it is not just that; it's also just culture, right? Like we haven't tested this. We're probably not going to go and see if blasting out 10 times for a single deal works for us because it's just not the float on way. So separate from any metrics, there's also just deciding what kind of business you want to run and what kind of personality it has.
Right. Yep. So yeah, I mean, like we've never tested it because I think
even if we
were to make more money doing it the other way, I don't think we'd want to do it.
Yeah, and you should never test things where you know what the result would be, or it would be the same no matter what the outcome is. It's a good scientific lesson. Pull out your journal and write that one down. It's a good one. Anything else to say? Well, we will. If we're on your mailing list and you send us 10 emails for a deal, we'll unsubscribe.
We will unsubscribe. Yep.
So don't do that.
Yeah. Cool.
Good question. That was, lots of different opinions on this one for sure. Mine and Ashkahn's, for example.
If you guys have other questions, you can go over to floattanksolutions.com/podcast and type them in.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
And the next day.
Goodbye.
Probably the day after that, too.
Bye.